everyone, and welcome back to the Walking Dead series by The Verdict Sin. I'm your host, Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we're talking about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Season 1, Episode 4, entitled What We. It's written by Danai Gurr, a.k.a. Michonne, and directed by Michael Slovis. Awesome for her to write this episode. So proud of it. Loved it. Gary, what are your thoughts?
Well, I loved the episode. I loved everything about it. I can't think of we're going to get into it. It's not the show or the writing. Mm-hmm. It's just a character issue. But we get into it. But no, this was a great episode. And I'm glad they took us away from the CRM. I'm sorry. I'm glad they took us away from the CRM. And, we just got a break this week.
Yeah. Even though I was like on anxiety 10 the whole time, because I was like, what if the CRM comes in and tries to search the building? But that doesn't make sense if they feel like, hey, we destroyed the evidence, they're in there, they're dead. Although I do question, how did the helicopter crash? And then did the driver of the helicopter, like the pilot, did they announce, hey, they just jumped from the helicopter before it crashed, before it even had time to crash?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they announced it because it looks like they blew up the plane and left.
Yeah, I guess if they thought they were in there.
Right.
Okay. Well, we start off, they're in this nice, cool little room / I don't know, it's like apartments in a high-rise building. And Rick is like to Michonne, I can't believe you did that. And she's like, I can't believe you said that. So that was like the start of the endless argument that just kept going on and on and on.
And on and on.
Throughout the whole episode. It's not a diss, but I was just like, wait, how many times are we going to repeat this conversation?
Right.
But I did enjoy it. So we're going to take it in parts here.
And I love the apartment also. That was like a Bill Gates type of apartment.
Yeah.
The temperature control is controlled to your body temperature.
Yeah, everything was like super high tech and living off the grid and everything like that.
Right. And you see how they adjusted the temperature twice, where the house adjusted it twice. Mm-hmm. Adjusted when they came in, then adjusted again when they start arguing.
Right.
So that's a nice feature.
Yeah, so I did like that. That was cool. I mean, part of me was like, oh, you guys can stay here, but not anymore. Not after the CRM. But so we get a few things in this first scene. We see Rick watching Michonne change clothes. And then she starts talking to him about how she like all the different jobs she wanted to be, how she wanted to be a creative writer. And she's like, oh, but you the creative writer, because you tried to send me away. Like, do you not know who I am? I wouldn't just leave. And your children, and it was like, he's like, children. I mean, of course, he does have children. He had Carl, he had Judith that he was aware of, but we know Carl passed many years ago. So he knows when she's saying children, she's talking in present tense, like these kids that live. And
yeah, he thought she was being fast too. Because when she said, yeah, it's yours, I got pregnant, right? Oh, I found out I was pregnant
at the bridge. Yeah.
And you see how his face kind of
nah, I don't think he questioned it for a second. Yeah, she does tell him like she found out she was pregnant right after the bridge. We find out RJ is almost 8. So meaning it's almost 9 years since they've seen each other.
He was like, I already took Judith in.
Right. He's like, I already claimed you, didn't I? But
another kid.
And they start to argue and everything like that. Like, he doesn't really ask too many questions initially about RJ. Like, it's just like, what? Children? And she's like, yes, you have a son. His name is Rick. We call him RJ. But after all she says that, he goes like, give me the PRB back. Like, the thing that tells the CRM where they are located. And I love it. That's when they start arguing. She's like, I told you, excuse me. Before they start arguing, but before they get any further, Rick does say what we pretty much said last week when he's like, I told you not to show them who you are. And then you broke the kill count. Like, you broke the record of how many kills someone can get.
Everything I told you not to do.
Mm-hmm. So he was right there. But with Michonne kept saying, like, you're lying to me. What do you, like, I still, even by the end of the episode, I did not get what that meant.
I don't know. I thought Michonne was taking low blows all during the episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, you could tell she was hurt and try to hurt people.
Yeah.
And it seems like she was trying to hit them below the belt with the words. Talks about your people. And they're telling them, well, should I not trust you because those are your people?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you going kind of low there.
Yeah, because he explains like, hey, Jadis brought me here, and pretty much if we leave, she's gonna come and kill our family. Like, I already kind of got away with making you leave, and she wasn't gonna touch on that. And she has evidence. If she dies, then something, they'll come after us. And Michonne was like, well, let's just go back, find her evidence, destroy it, kill her, and then go home. And like, I get it. Michonne has come too far. She's found Rick, and she doesn't want to just walk away after this. But she's also making things sound so simple. Like, if it was that simple, don't you think Rick could have done all that? Like, so I think she wasn't fully comprehending how serious the situation they were in.
And she's not comprehending that she can't go back.
Yeah, she can't go back to the CRM. Or you mean she can't go back home?
The CRM.
Okay, yeah. Thorne was about to kill her like already twice in the last episode.
Right.
But she asks, do you still love me? And he says, always. And she finally does give him the RPG or I don't know, I wrote down twice, PRB or RPG, whatever you want, PBR probably. And next thing you know, that's when they notice that their helicopter crashed. And he admits, he said, wow, you saved our lives. Even though part of me goes, well, how did that helicopter crash? Did them jumping out cause the crash? Like, if, the pilot got distracted, I guess we'll never know. Or maybe we'll find out later how that helicopter crashed. But at this point, he does feel like, wow, you saved our lives by jumping out at that moment. But that's when Rick says, I'm not going back. He can't go home. So with him initially saying that he can't go home, what are your thoughts? Like, were you surprised that he's still saying, after seeing the helicopters crash, everyone thinks they're dead? Were you surprised with him still saying, I can't go home?
No. Like we said last week, Rick is trying to protect the people back home. And now that he has a son, or no, he has another son, yeah, he want to stay even more. He's like, if I leave, they're going to look for us. Or sooner or later, they're going to find it. And if I'm in a program or still there, I could keep kind of throwing them off the tracks, sending them other places.
Even though the helicopter crash implies that they died. Like, why would they ever come and look for them?
You never know.
Yeah, maybe Jade. Yeah.
The helicopter, yeah, it implied that they crashed, but we still have Jadis.
Yeah, who's not going to believe it? Who might want to, yeah, like, she may want to see.
Both of them are gone?
Right.
So she's going to know there's something behind it.
Well, she says, the son you haven't even asked about, he calls you the brave man, and he's the little brave one. And I thought that was a dig. Like, you haven't even asked about, like, they just fell out of a helicopter. Give him a moment. Give him a moment to collect his thoughts. And
it was realistic, though.
Yeah, because I was surprised. Like, he didn't ask really no questions. You guys have a moment. All Rick kept saying is, give me the thing back so I can call him.
No, Michelle's behavior was realistic. That's the woman behavior. Oh. Those little digs. Because he was trying to explain to her, like, hey, I can't go back. I need to stay here and protect. But, when people don't listen when you're not saying what they want to hear.
Okay. So she's not taking in what Rick is saying. Because that's not what she wants to hear.
Yeah, she don't care to take it in. She won't take it in because she doesn't want to hear that. She want to hear him say, "Hey, let's go. I'm free. Let's go together." Like I said, she don't want to make it seem like she did all of this for nothing. Especially now that she hasn't heard, anything back from the kids.
Yeah, although I'm not going to say she wasn't listening, because she even says, she's like, I found you, but I didn't. And she's like, but let me get this straight. I mean, it's true. I mean, yes, it's 9 years. He's going to be different even if he didn't go through hardship. You're going to change as a person after 9 years, either way.
But I didn't think of him as being different. This has always been Rick.
Yeah, but Rick has been a fighter.
And he's still a fighter. Rick has always done what's best for the community.
That's true.
So
he's putting his happiness aside. Like, don't you think I want to be with you guys, but I can't.
But you know what Michonne's worried about?
What?
Little Pearl.
You think that's what she's worried about? She's worried about Thorne?
She's worried about Thorne. That's why she brought Thorne up. She said, I saw you behind her like a little soldier.
Yeah. She was throwing dig after dig. Yeah, well, they mention Okafor, and, Rick is like, I'm going to complete his mission. And Michonne was like, yes, his mission. And she's like, don't you remember the life we built? You don't choose to stay in prison when the doors open. And I mean, I agree in some ways, even though, once again, I know he's tried to escape. He knows the power and the technology that CRM has. But I do agree. Like, this is you tried to escape so many other times, and you knew the powers they had, and you still tried until you lost your hand. So at this point, there's a way out. That's not when you turn back and say, I can't go, when there's a way out to go.
So do you think he's doing the right or wrong thing by wanting to go back?
I don't know. Like, I honestly understood both perspectives. I understood Michonne came so far, and out of all, like, the whole world, she somehow found Rick. It's almost impossible, but she did it. And she sacrificed so much, and she even says that later on. But at the same time, I felt Rick was a little broken, and he needed that push. Like, I get what he's saying. I don't disagree. We've seen the power the CRM has. I understand he's saying, I'm going to stay to protect my family. At the same time, I do think a little bit of his soul is crushed a little bit. Like when the Saviors, and we have seen Rick get crushed when he was with the Saviors and just had his head down and was doing everything they wanted.
And why did he do that?
Once again, it was to protect. He did it because that was the way to protect the family.
So why do you see that as being broken when he's doing something to protect the group?
Because just like when they fought the Saviors, eventually they had to be strong and say, like, either we fight or we die trying. I kind of get that
was
too.
Later on, after they got more information about the Saviors.
Yes, true.
When he didn't know anything about them, or not much about them, yeah, he did what they asked him to do. He cowered down. But that was to protect his group. That doesn't seem broken. That just seems smart to me.
Well, in this case, Michonne made some good points, because she's like, you're going to stay just in case maybe you can change your CRM one day. And maybe you may be able to come home one day. Like, all of these are maybes. We don't know, even if you stay, what could happen. We don't know if Rick goes back and they blame him for the helicopter crash. He might go back and just get executed. If they're this dangerous, which we've seen that they are, because they just kill people willy-nilly, I don't think him going back is a smart idea anyways. They're going to question him. They're going to question Dana, or question his knowledge of Dana. And Thorne, you could tell she loves Rick as family. She calls him family, but she's committed to the CRM. And at this point, she's like, nah, those are her people that died on the helicopter. She's going to start questioning Rick. Rick knew that lady. Where did she go?
I mean, you're right. Michonne asked a lot of questions, or like what ifs. But I mean, you can ask what ifs about anything. Anything in life could be a what if. What if this don't happen the way you... But what if it does? And that's one thing she didn't ask. What if it does happen like I said it's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, she says she's going back to her kids, and we see her walk out, and she does stop hoping Rick will come after her. And Gary, this was, oh my gosh, this scene, I got chills, because you see Rick, it's flashing the audience. We see him hesitating. He has his hand on the door, and he does want to go after her, but he also knows letting her go is the best way, is the best for her.
Yeah.
And then when she sees that he's not coming, she starts walking away, and it was amazing. It was amazing at that moment, right when they connect, you know, the building's blowing up and everything like that, and Rick is able to protect her. And I thought it was funny, because she's like, you go all commando. He's like, commando? Really? Like, they were throwing digs. I was like, damn, are they gonna break up before they even can reunite? But what did you think? Like, when she walked away, I
don't think they were throwing digs.
Okay. When she walked away, did you think Rick was gonna go after her?
Yes, I knew he was gonna eventually go after her.
And that's when he explains it, because I was wondering, like, wait, why did they destroy the helicopter? And he says they destroy any evidence that they exist. Like, they take their secrecy so serious, which makes me say Rick doesn't need to go back, because if they feel Dana's out on the loose, or I don't know, like, I get both. Like, I'm not trying to be like devil's advocate, but I do get both sides.
Dana's dead. Like, even if Rick goes back and he say, hey, I'm the only survivor, you know, everyone else died, I was able to, you know, I fell out the helicopter to the water, I'm pretty sure they'll believe him. There's no proof that he did it. And since they came and blew up the helicopter, I mean, they're not going to find any traces of any of them.
True. But then once again, why go back?
He wanted to go back so he could protect his people.
All right.
I mean, I think it was a smart thing for him to go back. I personally think it was smart for him to go back and let Michonne. I mean, he could try to figure out how to escape later.
Yeah.
But at least get Michonne back. You know, I go either way with it.
Yeah, that's why I'm so conflicted. I feel like in the next few minutes, I'll be like, yeah, Rick should go back and try to change the organization from the inside, like what Okafor was trying to do. They still all are meeting up. The leadership team is meeting up at Cascadia Base, you know, in a matter of days still. That would be the perfect opportunity to destroy them then. Get all the top out.
Yeah, it would be. But are we going back towards the herd?
That Michonne went through to get to him?
Yeah.
Potentially. I don't know. Well, I mean, they're in a car now this time, so they may be able to take a different way.
Take a different route, yeah.
Yeah. But we find out the facility that they're at is called Greenwood. It's with like-minded people living off the grid. I was like, oh, that's my dream way of living.
Yeah, they had a lot of technology.
Yeah.
For somebody living off the grid.
Off the grid, yeah. Off the grid, what they mean is like, well, yeah, they still need the technology. But I guess what they mean is off the grid is like they probably didn't want to have to scavenge. And even Rick says that. And they're like, well, Michonne's like, where's the crops? He's like, the crops died out. Like, you have to burn them in order to start anew. And we get this note from the founder or researcher, Lakshmi Patel, who left a note. And she said they were trying to save the world their own way. Michonne said it. Saving the world your own way tends to go to shit. Or one of them said it. I didn't write down who said it. But I believe it was Michonne.
I think Michonne said it, or she read it.
Yeah.
She read it and said it.
And once again, I was like, Michonne, you're talking about them, you know, going their own way, and it turns to shit. But that's what you guys are doing in Alexandria. You're living your own way. You're trying to something new. And you've seen it go to shit so many times. So I don't know. She kind of like judged them a little bit, the people that live there. And I'm like, yeah, of course it didn't last. It didn't last, unfortunately, but it looked like it was good while it was. Yeah.
I don't think she was judging to judge. I think she was trying to make a point. They're doing the same thing back at Alexandria, Oceanside, now the Commonwealth.
Yeah. Well, Rick says he'll find a way to stop the killing, and this is the only way to keep them safe. And that was pretty much his whole message the whole time. He just kept repeating it. I'm doing this to keep you safe. But I like this. Michonne said the only time I ever feel safe is when I'm with you. And then that's when she took another dig. She's like, this who you are now. You moving on up. You moving on up, Mr. Soldier Man.
I was saying she was taking a dig. She was trying to dig deep.
Yeah. She's like, maybe I should be afraid of you. Like, damn. I'm like, damn, Michonne. Like, I get it. She's hurt. You didn't come all this way. This is not what she was expecting to come to. So I get her being hurt and saying all these things.
Well, like she said, she didn't expect to find him.
Yeah.
So.
And then what really I think hurt her is that she even says, she's like, you don't think I'm beating myself up? Like, I've left my kids. I have.
And I told you.
And she's like,
I told you during the second podcast.
Yeah.
Second episode that, you know, she don't want to go back with empty-handed.
Right. She's been gone away more than a year because she was already stuck with Nat in the mall for a year. Who knows how long she was gone before she met them. So she hasn't seen her kids anywhere from 1 to 2 years. It could be even longer, but she implied it's been over a year.
At least 2 years.
Yeah.
No, she was saying that whatever. Oh, the CRM took
took 1 year from her. Yeah. And then the next dig, there was a lot. I didn't even get to write everything down because they were talking so much, but I did try to write the big digs down. And she goes, the man I knew would never talk to me this way.
And I was like, talking to you like what? Like he was talking super calm.
I know. I was like, okay, Michonne, he didn't really say anything. Like, it's not like he cussed your ass out.
Rick couldn't breathe. The man I knew would be breathing as loud towards me.
Yeah, I was like, damn, Michonne, like, you going hard. And they fight the walkers and everything like that. And that's when we get Michonne, her leg gets stuck, and she keeps telling Rick to go. And he's like, that is never happening. And that's when she's like, I just needed to hear you say that.
Michonne is toxic.
First when she said that, I was like, wait, is she going to lift the thing up and she's not really stuck? Like, that's where my mind got to. Because she was like, I just need you to hear you say that. And I thought she was about to lift it and be like, let's go. I'm like, damn, she was faking it. I was like, whoa. But I'm like, okay, she wasn't faking it. But I liked when she told him thank you after he, released her foot. And he goes, you never have to thank me ever. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, Rick, so sweet. Rick was an all-star. No, we love Michonne, but yeah, Michonne was on. She was like on 10 this episode.
Yeah, she was. Which is understandable. She was hurt.
Yeah, she was hurt, and she's pissed. Like,
and when you're hurt and pissed, you don't want to hear reason.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, no, I didn't leave my kids for 2 years to come back with. No, you coming. I don't care if you want to come. We're gonna figure it out when we get home, and But
I agree with what Rick said. He said, I was taken. You left by choice. Like, why did you leave?
Yeah, it was almost like, why would you leave our kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we've been saying.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's been saying.
Yeah. Well, they find themselves back in another apartment. They make out. They have a quickie. Rick T&B and shakes a little. Touch and bust.
Touch and bust. got that from the Shannon Sharp podcast.
Shannon Sharp podcast. T&B. Yeah, it's been like, I'm assuming he hasn't been with anyone since he left Michonne.
Oh, you can tell the way his face looked.
I thought he was gonna have a seizure. I was like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, I think it was like just the emotion, the connection of being like, he's probably still in shock.
Oh, that's what you think it is? Okay. We gonna go with that.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's in shock that like he's with her again. And especially later on when he describes all the dreams and everything like that, like, I get it. But they finally talk about RJ, and she goes, he looks like you. And he's like, he must be handsome. And she goes, but he has my eyes, he has light brown skin, and he has your good heart. And just then, that's when the Roomba goes by. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, wait, where's Roombas out back then in 2010? And Michonne does say, like, I had just got one before everything went to shit. So it was probably like a very new product before that. And a testament to Roomba's batteries is still running after all this time.
Well, it's a charger.
It
goes back to the hub.
But isn't the hub, like, isn't it plugged in then? Oh, but I guess they had electricity.
Yeah.
Well, it's still testament to the life cycle that it can last at least 10 years. And that's when they discuss Greenwood and like how they kept innovating. And, that's how they have all this technology. They have running water still. Even the elevator before they leave was still running. Even though when they got in the elevator, which comes later, I was like, why did y'all get in the elevator? I thought they were getting stuck in there, but that didn't happen. And that's when Rick was saying, like, well, something has to burn to bring it back. And once again, he starts talking about the CRM. He's like, if I can change this CRM, future generations still have a chance. And I want to kind of discuss this because it takes a big person. I'm not like trying to big up Rick. I am. But to me, it really does truly take sacrifice to be able to say, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not going to be able to have the life I wanted. I'm not going to be able to see my kids grow up and live a happy life and everything like that. But I'm doing something that's bigger than me. Like, I'm going to change things, and
I'm going to change the world.
I'm going to change the world. And I respect him for that. Like, I understand. I completely understand where Michonne's coming from, but I do respect him for it.
I was thinking Michonne played her cards wrong. She should wait to sleep with him. She should have got that guarantee that he's coming back.
That he was coming back, yeah.
Dangling in his face a little bit.
Yeah.
He would have made the right decision.
She should have been like, yo, you can get this like every week if you come
home.
On the regular. But he's like, yo, I got Thorne back at home.
That's wrong. No, he did.
Nah, he wouldn't think that. But they discussed the mark on her back, and we find out, we knew that girl was her friend, the lady, the second weirdest villain in the Walking Dead history. Well, maybe not the second. Yeah, she's definitely in the top 5.
She's in top 5.
She's in the top 5 because if you remember, she was friends of Michonne. So we find out she was like a college mate, and she had kids with her. And like, you found safety, and then you fuck around and do all this weird shit, like branding them. Her and Daryl had the kids doing weird shit.
Yeah, you find safety, and then you try to take over. You try to fuck it.
Fuck it all up. Kidnap Judith. I'm like, damn, I don't even remember them doing that, but they kidnapped Judith. And she said she don't want to talk about it. It was her and Daryl. And he's like, well, did you kill her? She's like, yeah, we killed her. And she's like, that's when I stopped looking. Like, that's when I stopped looking for you. I was 7 months pregnant. I was like, I need to stop. And that's when she also stopped letting people in. But I want to go back to what her and Daryl did, because she's like, I don't really want to talk about it. But I'm like, wait, did they kill those kids too?
Did they? They did, didn't they?
I feel like they must have.
I think so.
Those kids were crazy. You definitely had to put them down.
Oh, they were crazy as kids.
Yes, they were crazy. Like,
yo, picture the adult version.
Yeah, hell no.
Nah,
we remember Izzy,
go.
which the Izzy thing was Izzy. Yeah, Izzy thing was 10 years ago. I got a Facebook reminder over the weekend, and it was like, it was like me just recapping every scene from that episode. Like, that girl is crazy. That little girl is crazy. Oh no, Carol did that. Like, so I'm like, that was 10 years ago. Like, there goes. I'm like, that's crazy. So she's probably a young lady right now, but
yeah, zombie apocalypse. They don't have the medication for crazy.
Yeah,
you gotta get rid of them.
You gotta get rid of them. You gotta go. But Michonne says, like, you know what? I don't believe you're gone forever. And she discusses his hand, like him doing that. She's like kind of happy, like, you did that, try to get back. And he's like, I was trying to come home. And she tells him, like, you gotta go home because I don't think you can go back there. Like. And she says sorry for what they did to you. But do you agree with her that he has to now come home because he can't go back there?
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. Rick knows more than we know. He got more information from
Thorne.
Not Thorne.
Okafor.
Okafor. I'm sorry. He got more information from Okafor. I can't get anybody's name today, but he got more information from him, so he knows more than we know. I think Rick is terrified that if he don't show up soon, they're gonna show up. And Michonne's saying that let's get back to our people and we'll fight. But what fighters do they have left there?
Yeah, and all they need to do is throw a bomb and blow you up, and you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think she was also implying let's leave, like we wouldn't stay in Alexandria.
And at the Commonwealth, I don't know what type of weapons we had. Well, we probably could fight at the Commonwealth.
Yeah, now that would be where you would fight.
Yeah,
if you want to have any fighting chance, you would go to the Commonwealth.
They have the weapons. They don't have the planes, but they have the guns.
To shoot a plane down.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to leave. Rick, he's trying to hit it, and he quit it. He's like, okay, afterwards, they have their fun. He's like, it's time to go. And Michonne's like, nah, we're not going anywhere until it's decided on where we're going. Because technically, even though Rick came after her, he's still talking about going back. So he hasn't decided to come with Michonne.
And I don't understand why she can't take that as this is serious. No matter how much I push him to come, he's pushing me to stay. For him to stay. So I don't understand why she don't think like, wait, Rick might be on to something.
Yeah.
Let me make sure, I get back to our kids.
I was thinking that same thing. Like, I'm thinking, Rick, if he's telling you he needs to go back, like, just, if you trust him, you should trust him and go back. And maybe go to the Commonwealth. You already saw what they have. And go back and tell people what you saw.
I never thought I'd see this candy version of you, Rick. She was saying all kinds of disrespect. She didn't say that, but she was saying the disrespectful stuff.
Well, and that's when she tells him how she almost nearly died and she was out there for a year, and she's honest. She's like, I lied to you earlier. Like, I don't know if Judith is okay because she stopped answering the walkie. But she goes, I'm real. I'm your family. The CRM is not real. And she said, this back and forth is hurting me. Like, you're hurting me. You're making me become something else. Like, what did they do to you?
Oh, he's making you become something else. I think I heard that before.
You know what, Gary? I'm getting chills because they were both being so vulnerable. They've always just been strong with each other, and she's like, she can't imagine, like, what did they do to make you this way? What did they? And I get it. Like, you're making me beg, and that's not me. Like, she didn't say that, but when she's saying you're making me become something else, I'm literally her begging you to come home with me.
But he's literally sitting there with one arm. He has one hand. And she's saying, what did they do to make you? Come on now.
Yeah.
There's proof right there in front of you.
Now, I was surprised when she was like, what did they do to you? What did they take from you? And that when he was like, they took Carl. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he made that shit up on the spot.
Yeah, I was like, wait. I did not expect to hear Carl in this episode. And that's when he tells her, like, he used to dream. Like, that's what kept him going, dreaming about Carl and just Carl's a kid, and we got flashbacks. And for a minute, since they talked so heavily about Carl, I was like, are they going to show us, like, a new Carl? Like, Chandler Riggs, like, kind of grown up and, like, what Rick pictured him as an adult. Like, I thought we were going to get a flash of that. Like, imagine if they had brought Chandler Riggs back. I know the relationship kind of ended sour, but trust me, Chandler Riggs would come back if they said like, "Yo, come back in a quick little flashback. We just want to show what Rick pictures you as as an adult, like, you know, pictured him as he grew up." I thought that would have been amazing.
It would have been, but I don't think they could get that.
Yeah, I think they could have got it. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing now.
I mean, I think that relationship just ended, you know, so.
It ended abruptly.
Not abruptly, but it didn't end the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very vocal. But you know what? There's been a lot of people that's been vocal about their situations and then they come back. Like Lauren Cohan, you know, she's like, nah, I'm good, and then had to come back. And now she got her own little spinoff. So you never know in the world of Walking Dead what could happen.
But that's different.
I know. I think that was like due to pay. Maggie. I'm talking about Maggie.
Yeah. That's different because she left. They didn't get rid of her.
That's true. They should have never got rid of Carl. But anywho, I'm just going to throw that out there.
They did Carl dirty.
They did him wrong.
Took his eye.
Took his, what else? Was he missing a hand or no? Am I tripping?
No, I don't think Rick cut it off.
Okay.
No, he's not missing a
hand. He's not missing a hand. But I mean, he's been shot.
He's been shot.
He missed the eye. I mean, he did a lot as a little kid, like from, you know, that was his life. Like he was on that show for so long.
Saheed.
He almost got raped. I mean, how traumatizing is that for a kid to film? An almost rape scene back in season 4.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I hope you were doing well, Chandler Riggs. You are missed, and hopefully somehow, some way, they like bring you on the show. I don't even care if they bring him as a new character. We just gonna let it slide. Just let it slide. You know, he's much older now. It's all good. But he talks about how he was dreaming. Carl was in his dreams, and that's what kept him going. And then one day he was gone, and then he started dreaming of her, which is what we saw earlier. And then one day she was gone, and he's like, I can't lose you like in real life. Like, what's kept me going is knowing that you're out there, like the possibility.
Knowing that you're still alive. And now that he knows she's still alive, yeah, I mean, he could go on a little longer.
Yeah, he can go on. Like, but if she dies right here, that will break him, is what he's saying. And I don't know, like, I kind of think of sort of the opposite, like, just hoping that she's alive is what keeps him going. But I think of like parents who lose children, who you just never get that answer, or anybody, not just children, you never get that answer. And in some ways, is the hope keeping them going? Like, well, maybe, like, they never found the body, so maybe she's okay. Maybe everything worked out.
Yeah. Or
is it hurting because you never get that closure?
Also, we didn't think about this. Uh-huh. We didn't talk about this right here. Rick still have stuff in his sofa cushion.
Oh, yeah.
So what if they put somebody else in there, or they come to change everything out and they find that?
Yeah. Yeah, he should have never left any evidence. I mean, he shouldn't have been keeping notes.
I mean, he probably thought he was coming back.
Yeah.
Like, he got rid of the pictures and the phones. Well, the phones were the pictures. But he got rid of that, but he still had, like, the escape plans and the other information.
Yeah. Although maybe they'll think it's old because they do know he tried to escape several times. Which,
possibly.
I don't get how him even trying to escape once didn't show that he was an A and they didn't just kill him, like, a long time ago.
They wanted to.
Okafor,
he protected him.
And he tells her, like, I know how to be dead and alive, like, but not if you die. And that's when we get Rick crying. And I bet he hasn't cried in, like, 10 years. Like, he probably hasn't cried in so long. Like, he's crying for a lot right now.
Yeah, he used to cry a lot back in the day.
He did?
Yeah.
When
you were talking about how broken he was. When I said he was broken, he was protecting his family.
Oh, the Saviors?
With the Saviors. Yeah, Rick used to always be tearing up and crying about something.
Yeah, but I feel like he's been holding it.
He's been through a lot also.
Yeah, lost a child, lost a wife, lost so many people, lost Glenn. So many that we've lost. I know they tried to do like the little dinner scene before, but I really hope once it's finally over, to show everybody. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a little flashback and show everybody, but I don't think they're gonna bring them all back in because they're too spread out now.
Yeah, and they're doing different things.
But it's still a part of the series.
Yeah.
But they're too spread out. Like, I mean, how are you going to justify Daryl being there? Daryl and Carol. They're in another country.
Yeah, they're on, and their show still, until their show ends. Well, he tells her, like, when I saw you, I got so scared. Like, he probably thought he was hallucinating. And if he doesn't know that something happens to her, he can keep on believing that she's alive. And because he won't survive if something happens. Yeah, I feel him. And that's when she shows him a little drawing of Carl on the phone, And she said, if Carl were here right now, what would he say? Like, damn, Michonne is trying to pull at any ties to get him to come home.
Yeah.
And she's like, and that's when she's like, despite the odds and the years, I found you. You think that's all for nothing? She's like, no, we go home and we love each other for as long as we can, for as hard as we can.
Yeah, I can understand where she's coming from. But like I said, how she went about it, I don't know. But, I mean, you can't tell anybody how to act about something or how to react.
Yeah. And I think what he's trying to do, like, I get what she's saying, but he's trying to do something bigger at this point. He's sacrificing his life and his love and everything of wanting to be with his family because he's like, I'm trying to change shit from the inside.
Yeah, he's trying to be the brave man.
Yeah. Like, you guys call me the brave man, let me be the brave man. And that's when they fight their way out. I love the kissing scenes. They start kissing and making out in the elevator, which I was like so scared. But then once they got outside and Rick doesn't know how to drive a stick shift.
That's a shame.
And I like that he jokes. He's like, a stick shift and it's a hybrid. It's an electric car.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah. And when they switched spots, they kiss again. It was cute. Like that whole little scene was so cute and playful. And they got out just in time because the building literally collapsed right behind them.
Yeah, like seconds later.
Yeah. And the whole time while they were in the car, I was like, just go. Like the CRM, like I'm so scared of CRM. Like the CRM is right there. But nope, they drive away and we'll have to see what happens next week.
And I'm glad it ended on a happy term.
I am too. The whole time I was nervous.
Yeah, because we usually end on like have anxiety after it's over.
Mm-hmm. Or you're sad or ends on a cliffhanger like last week, on a cliffhanger. So yeah, it was a nice, and even though the whole time I was like, heartbeat, oh my gosh, someone's going to get you guys. And then even the walker came up to the window. I was like, whew. But yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, he was pretty scared.
Yeah, I was. Even though I know it's called The Ones Who Live, I'm like, you never know. They might fuck around and just take one of them out. Like take Michonne out and Rick gets to live.
Yeah.
So.
That'd be sad.
That would be. All right, so most likely to die, and I ain't fearing shit. Who do you got for most likely to die?
I don't think we can name anybody right now.
Yeah, it's still too soon.
It's too soon because Michonne and Rick is not with the CRM right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know who the new people they're going to encounter, if they encounter new people.
Yeah. Only 2 episodes left.
I just hope it's not Michonne or Rick.
I honestly could see Michonne dying. I really can. Or even I think the fan base would be too pissed off if Rick died because
man, we haven't seen Rick in like 5 years.
Yeah, I know. But we know, like, see what Rick was saying. Like, we knew he was alive. Like, you know what I mean? We don't have to see him. Just the thought that he was alive, we were fine with. So that's what kept us going. So it actually proves his point even more.
Last time I see Rick was at the Walker Stalker Con.
Back in 2018.
Shit, longer than that, right?
Yeah, it was probably 2017, 2018, somewhere around then. Yeah, I don't know, because after Carl, like, everyone thought Carl was the future, and now Judith's future. And I'm assuming they're gonna have another season because are they gonna make it back to Alexandria and everything in the next 2 episodes and see Judith and RJ?
What if they make it back and there's no Alexandria?
And that's why Judith hasn't been. Oh, because Daryl's not there either, which is kind of fucked up. Didn't Michonne leave her with Judith? She left Judith with Daryl.
She did.
And now Daryl's gone.
And Daryl dipped.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't my kid.
Little ass kicker, you'll be fine. It's like, does Jerry have all those kids? He just raising a whole bunch of kids right now.
But Daryl did the right thing. He left her at the Commonwealth. They had schools, shelter.
True.
We did the right thing.
Yeah. All right, I ain't fearing shit. I mean, there's only 2 people to choose from.
I mean, it's Michonne. Michonne wasn't trying to hear anything Rick had to say.
Yeah.
Like Let them come.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you. Michonne wasn't fair and shit. She's like, I'm gonna take my shit and go. Like, fuck it. You don't wanna be with me? I'm going back to my kids. Even though she went outside and stopped and was like, let me give him like 30 seconds to catch up with me.
Pull the average couple move.
All the arguing and fighting.
The arguing, fighting, and saying, I'm out of here just for you to stop them.
They was like, okay, we had 9 years of not being able to argue and fight. I'm gonna tell you every single thing that I do not like right now. Yeah, those were some hard fights. Mainly Michonne. Like, I hope.
Yeah, Rick was calm the whole time.
Yeah, Rick was chilling. He's like, I love you.
Argue. That's why she said, I can't believe you're talking to me like this.
Yeah.
I was like, talking to you like what?
That's some gaslighting for real. I was like, wait, what? What did he say? I was loving you said so too. You were like, both like, wait, we're confused. What did he say? The Rick I know would never talk to me that way.
It don't matter what he said. Yeah, if he would have blinked right there, he would have been rolling his eyes.
Right.
She would have swore he was rolling his eyes. Like, oh, there you go.
There you go again. Great episode. So many feels. Like my arms, it was good. It was really good. My arms had like little goosebumps. So we'll be back next week, you guys. Until then, I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.
Bye.